And joining me in the studio on the BT couch is Canadian wrestling royalty, Bret the Hitman Hart. Welcome to the show. Thank you for being here.
Oh, it's great to be here.
So much to get to. Of course, Monday Night Raw happening at the Bell Center. We're going to get to that in just a bit. But, I mean, to have you in studio, we have to talk about your career. You know, you've had such a great and long career. You come from a family, pretty much you were destined to be a wrestler.
Well, it's, you know, I grew up in a family where everybody grew up to become wrestlers or married wrestlers. And, you know, we've always sort of been considered the first family of wrestling in Canada. And, you know, I'm really proud of all the great things that happened for me through wrestling. I had a great career and had a lot of great memories right here in Montreal.
Yeah, you love Montreal, and lots of fans are here. And you're considered one of probably the greatest technical wrestlers in the history of the sport, of the entertainment, of the business. You know, how, in your opinion, what does it take now, and what did it take in your time to make it to the WWE?
Oh, well, I think, you know, it's a very demanding job. I mean, there's a lot of travel, and it's the physicalities of years ago. I think were really tough. It was a tough grind. A lot of travel, a lot of shows every night, and you know, I pride myself now. Even now, I look at my safety record as a wrestler, and when I used to make the boast that I was the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be, was really tied in with the fact that I've had a perfect safety record for my whole career and never injured one wrestler, and I take a lot of pride in that.
Absolutely, in a sport where injuries, of course, happen a lot. And tell me, for a lot of the kids that are watching, we were just over the break, we were talking about the way wrestling's changed a lot, and it's become a very, very family-oriented show, if you could say. So for the kids that are watching and they're thinking of maybe getting into this, you know, to have you here, I have to ask you what kind of advice you have for them.
Oh, I encourage any young boy to if you ever think about wanting to become a wrestler, it's a great life if you, especially now. You know, it's a great way. I mean, it's the same sort of things that I got into wrestling for. You know, and when I was younger, I wanted to travel. I wanted to see the world. I wanted to stay in shape, make some money, and I wanted to meet girls. And and it all kind of fit together.
And it worked out.
And it worked out in wrestling, yeah. And you know, but wrestling today, I mean, I have nothing but respect for all the WWE wrestlers today. They're all great athletes, and the industry itself is regulated and really cleaned up in the sense that they're all real good quality athletes in wrestling today, and
athletes,
males and females, and the stuff that they're doing today. I mean, I used to brag about being the greatest technical wrestler in wrestling, and I still take great pride in being that, or one of the great technical wrestlers. But there's so many young wrestlers today, like Daniel Bryan and John Cena and Rey Mysterio, that have raised the bar in wrestling. I do know a lot of fans sometimes tell me they don't watch anymore. But you know, they should check it out more often, because there's some great wrestlers today.
Oh, great. Well, tell us, we're going to go back to 2002 here for a little bit. If you could sort of take us through this process. You had this big accident, then the stroke came with it, and you were told you probably wouldn't wrestle again. Then you returned. You had to take, you know, get away from the full-time ring performances. But tell us a bit of the process into that.
Well, I mean, going even further, I did have the big Montreal screw job, the big issue with Vince McMahon that resulted in me leaving the company and being angry about it for quite a long time. But you know, in reality, over the years, when I suffered the stroke in 2002, one of the first calls I got, in fact, the very first call I got in the hospital, was from Vince McMahon. And you know, I say this with a lot of pride now, that I remember those dark hours when the first few hours of having a stroke, and the doom and gloom that I had sort of surrounded myself with, that was not going to leave for a while. I really appreciated the call from Vince, and you know, we talked about a few things, and he promised me that someday they would do you know, that we'd kind of get things back on track if I wanted to, right. And you know, respect the things that I'd accomplished, and you know, it kind of opened the door to a better mutual understanding. And I think, you know, in fairness, I look back on all the things that happened with Shawn Michaels and the screw job and everything, and I'm proud of how I handled things. But at the same time, I regret that it came down to what it did, and that I wish that I never left the company.
All right, well, quickly, Monday Night Raw happening at the Bell Center tonight. quickly, what can people expect? It's going to be a great show, of course.
It's Monday Night Raw, so you're going to get everything. There's nobody going to be holding back anything. It's always a great show. Monday Night Raw is live, so there's lots of extra surprises, including myself.
Oh, great.
It should be a great night.
Well, Bret the Hitman Hart, thank you so much for being here today. And Monday Night Raw happening live, also televised live on Sportsnet 360 for those who want to watch that are not going to be fortunate enough to be on site. Thanks again for being here, Bret, this morning. We're going to take a